There's one thing that I would like to discuss. And this is no spoilers for the show or anything, and this is in a way related to the books. So like the latest rumor is that we've got the new season of Game of Thrones coming out this year, and instead of next year having what's supposed to be the final season 8, I think it's only supposed to be like 6 or 7 episodes. Coming out next year will maybe be 2 years out. Potentially, because like they want to have enough time to get the writing done right, or and so I'm just thinking like, it's a little hard when you don't have scripts that are just kind of already made for you, right? You don't have dialogue you can borrow. Yeah, so I wonder, and maybe they're sort of hoping if they stall long enough, like Winds of Winter will be out, and then they can crib a little off of that. I don't know.
I don't think that's it. I think literally they have to figure out like how they're going to end it. And then, like, even the shooting schedule for this season was, they had to shoot during winter.
And that's why it got pushed, right? Everything got pushed because, like, we need snow.
Yeah, we need, like, actual, like, it looking like winter kind of everywhere we shoot, not just in Iceland.
Just Iceland.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think they really want to get it right because, obviously, this has been their cash cow, and if they pull like a Lost final season, all the nerds.
It could really, it could ruin a lot of the goodwill they've built, right?
Yeah.
And if they're wanting to do these spin-offs.
Exactly. Like they'll just be like, why would we want to invest more years of our life on these spin-offs?
Yeah, like if they had like a Lost prequel or something that was coming out, would you be like, would you even watch the pilot at this point?
I want to know more about Walt.
I'd be like, I don't know. He got old. The kid grew up, and they were like, we can't have him anymore. But so I wonder. I mean, I don't know. I mean, a lot of people thought that we'd get Wins this year, last year. Now a lot of people think we'll get it next year. I mean, I just, I don't know.
It's coming.
That's like a whole other conversation we could have, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not holding my breath.
I want it.
Oh, obviously.
Oh, you guys. It's going to be fine. It's coming.
Yeah, it is. But I'm kind of fine with it because it's actually the first one. I'm really lucky it's the first one I'm winning, so.
Yeah, same here. Like the show is what got me into the book. The first episode, yes. I went and bought out the book. I bought the book and then just read through them all.
Opposite for me. I was like, no way I'm watching the show before I read it, and I had a mind to read it for a while, but I never had the I just didn't do it. And then my boyfriend at the time really wanted to watch the show, and I was like, nope. I mean, you're doing whatever you want, but I'm not watching it right now. I have to read the book first. So I read, and then I watched, and then I stopped watching.
I didn't realize what kind of series it was at first, right? So. I read about it, I think like the week it was airing, and I saw the premiere and I was like, oh, this is really cool. And so I went out and I got the book, and I read the first, maybe the first half of the book or something. And then I think it was the 3rd or 4th episode of the first season. And you go online and people are talking about stuff, and like someone was like, oh yeah, Ned gets his head chopped off, and they're like, wait, what? And so like I realized like what kind of book, and like I usually don't care about spoilers, but then I realized like what kind of books these are. I'm like, if they're gonna kill off, Sean Bean and stuff, and I was like, I need to catch up quickly.
Yeah.
I need to get through these, and then I don't worry about it.
That's why I chose to watch season 6, is because like I'd rather be spoiled by watching the show than hearing somebody fucking talk about it.
Yeah, but you see that like for me, I mean, have you all watched season 5, 6? I guess.
Yeah.
So. I think we're all caught up. The rest of us are. Yeah.
Okay, I'm not, but I definitely learned about some characters' death, obviously, and because I'm not that careful.
How can you get away from that?
Because I have like these memory spots in my brain, and I feel like for each character, it's either on dead or alive or whatever Catelyn or are.
Schrodinger's Catelyn.
Exactly, yeah. But like when the character dies in a book, it's gonna shift to dead, but
Right.
when I learn that he died in the show, it's really not the same as seeing it. Like, I'm not gonna register it. Like, I know that the show did that, but it doesn't change. It doesn't
So
change
what season
everything
did you leave off
I've
in,
thought.
Marie?
I've stopped after season 4, I think. Yeah, definitely.
I think
so
that
I
was a
haven't.
good. Well, season 5 was rough, so that was a good point to stop.
I think so.
But
Yeah,
I mean,
season 5
I'm watching it not because I don't want to get spoiled or whatever, but because I still enjoy the show, and I'm like, it's just I'm not going to stop. I enjoy it. I think that the real issue for me is like I said, I don't really believe in spoilers typically, like a lot of people do. I think if the story's good, it's still going to be good. Like even if some details are revealed, but also I will tell you, and I mean this is not any spoilers, but a lot of you'll probably hear things, and see things, but a lot of the stuff that's happened on the show is like I'm like, there's no way that's what's happening. In the books. I'm not confident we'll ever get the final book at this point, which is a rough thing to say. But not because I think like really, anything's going to happen to Martin like right now, but I think he just doesn't really want to finish it like subconsciously. It's a whole other thing. I think that he maybe he's not as into it as he used to be. Whatever it is, I don't know. Like he supposedly had a lot already set up for Dance or for Winds when Dance was written, right? He already had a dozen chapters or something. So why is this taking even longer? And that
it was all like one book. Like shouldn't when he did his like it should be next year like
Feast Dance you mean like when it was that like why did it take so long between Feast and Dance? And maybe he's not as confident in his writing anymore. Maybe he's I don't know. But it feels like as much as he like wants to get it out, he also doesn't.
Well, maybe he just wants to write all the wild cards, finish that up, and then tackle Song of Ice and Fire.
You saw that image earlier.
Oh my god!
How many wild cards are there? There's like 50.
I don't care.
And then he writes on his blog like every day about football. These like epic tomes. I'm like,
which as a giant fan, I like. I don't mind.
Yeah, but see, I don't mind that. Like
a little more A Song of Ice and Fire sweets.
But like, he doesn't owe me a book, right? You know what I mean? Like he could say, I'm done. I don't want to finish it. That's fine. But I feel like maybe
to the general public at this point.
What?
He has made a commitment to the general public at this point. I feel like.
No, I mean it's his art. So like, if he wants to finish it or not finish it, like it's not for me to say. But that's my point. Is at any point he could just be like, I'm out. So.
But he should say that.
Like, he should, but I like my this is a tinfoil a little bit here is like I think that it's probably part of his contract. Like, let's say if he's like, I'm going to take a break, I don't want to do these books. Like, it's probably in his contract with the show that he has to keep working on the books.
I doubt that.
So he can't be like, oh, I'm taking a break from the books for a year or
two. My personal thing is I feel like he has gone back and rewritten a lot of stuff to spite the show. To make
that's what you want to believe, right? And like that's another bit of my like conspiracy is like when stuff airs, maybe if it's not well received or if he didn't like the idea, he goes back and changes it.
Well, yeah, I mean, and he even released some of those chapters, prior to a certain episode airing. He'd be like, oh well, this is
yeah.
I feel like though, like things he has said in interviews, if you like really look between the things that he's saying, he's kind of indicating that a lot is my feeling on it. Because he flat out came out and said he had like this kind of pissy attitude in this interview toward the show, and it was like between seasons 5 and 6, and he's like, well, I can tell you right now, there's a huge twist coming in Winds that the show's not going to be able to do because they didn't stick to the source material.
Yeah, and he's said that several times, and it seems that I think it's more, I don't know if it's he's annoyed with the show or he's annoyed with, interviews he gets where they go, oh, what was it like when you set this up? And he's like, man, that's the show. and in season 1 they killed this dude, and I'm using him, and like he's just trying to like, explain over and over again to these people, like, look, it's like, it's different, and I can't explain how it's going to be different, and I can't say exactly what they're doing, what I'm doing, and it's to be him and to give those interviews over and over and over again is probably really annoying.
Well, I mean, that goes to the picture that you just posted. So Adam posted a screenshot from his blog comment thread, and it's like another guy being like, "Who's your favorite character in A Song of Ice and Fire?" And he's like, "Well, I've answered this in a bazillion fucking interviews. It's Tyrion. Also, this is a wild card chat to like stay on topic." Like
he's like, "Yeah, man, spell those wild cards, yo." I got 20 wild card books coming out this month.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think do we feel like maybe he's like a little sad that like people aren't into some of his other work the same way? Like why don't they like my wild cards?
Well, Night Flyer is becoming a TV show that he's not going to be.
He's just like whatever.
And then what else? Is Wild Cards becoming a TV show? I feel like
there's been talk of it several times, like he's mentioned on his blog about people optioning it for stuff, but I've not seen anything like, oh, next year expect this or whatever.
It's gonna be a YouTube web series.
Straight to YouTube Red.
It'll be an episode every 5 minutes.
Yeah. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for the next episode of Wild Cards.
But I mean, he just
George
seems
couldn't figure that out.
He just seems overly ambitious. Like he's still saying like he wants to do like half a dozen more Dunkin' eggs, and like we get the thing out in
Matt,
October.
You're talking about overly ambitious for a guy that wrote A Song of Ice and Fire, and purposely wanted to include so many characters that you could never film it.
But he keeps on giving out this.
He doesn't know limits.
Yeah, but he keeps on giving out this information like, oh, we can really expect this, and it's like, when?
Yeah, and like I think I think in the past maybe that was just how he operated. He wrote a lot for TV, and he did, he had his books and stuff, and he would tell people, at a book signing or an interview, hey, you can see this next year, and then he'd miss his date and it'd come out a year later, no big deal. And then when the show came out, he started saying, well, I think I'm going to have this ready before this season or whatever. And it didn't happen, and people were ready to throw tomatoes at him. So he's kind of like, I'm not going to do that anymore, guys.
The other side of that coin, though, is his publisher kind of needs to tell him, look, you have until this date to get this book ready in our hands to edit. Get there.
I wish Greg was here, or someone who has better grasp on that. I don't know if that's how publishing works, and I don't think that's how good writing works either.
And I don't think that's how I don't think it would work for authors of a certain staff.
Because he has so much money now. It's not like he's a starving author that has to meet a deadline. He can be like, here's your advance back, fuck you.
Well, I mean, I feel like his publisher in a way is kissing his ass, and I don't want them to. I've said this before. I do not want it to come out tomorrow if it's going to be a rushed job. I don't want that. But at the same time, he is, by all accounts, not spending his time working on it. I don't have a lot of evidence that he is. And that part of it is frustrating for me. It's like, if you want to be done with it, sit down, focus on it, and be out from underneath it. And then you can do whatever you want.
He is working on it. I think so, at least. And I feel like the frequency of his posts on his blog has decreased lately, and I don't know. I feel like he's working on it, but
also I just want to say, Mr. Martin, if you're listening, I'm really sorry for what I said. You take your time.
Yeah, he's not. Mr. Martin, we have episode 400 coming up very soon, and we would love for you to be on. It's not going to happen at all. I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm going to send this directly to your publicist, and that's not going to go anywhere either. But that's okay. Yeah, I'm going to go cry now. But see, okay, so like my bit of like another bit of like kind of the tinfoil there is like he operates on that old computer, and like what if at some point he lost it all and is like trying to recreate it the last couple of years. it's like the ultimate like hard drive malfunction or something, and like he's
and he didn't tell anyone, and
he's
just
like, oh
trying
gosh,
to
what was in this chapter? What was in it?
Oh my god.
Yeah, well, I mean, he probably got like the WannaCry and like some Russian hacker.
Because like he used to print off pages as like a backup, but he can't afford to have those stolen because now. So he's like everything's on this computer, and he's not like savvy enough to figure out that like he needs to back it up, and he lost it 2 years ago.
Oh my god!
He tried to track the hard drive.
Like, Adam, if that was the case, I would prefer for him to say that, because then I would give up all hope. Like, I still have hope alive. That would literally crush it for me, because I lost 100 pounds when I was 17, and then I got pregnant when I was 19, gained it all back, and I've never since had the ambition to do that again at all, to try. Like,
well, that's just it. I mean, that's just the thing, is that it's something like that really like takes the wind out of your sails. Can be soul crushing.
Yeah.
Like I've lost data. Like I lost a hard. I think I mentioned this before. I've lost a hard drive that was like from my 20s, and like not just like all the photos, everything I lost, like every paper I'd ever written in school, all this stuff. And it's just like but even like my library of music and stuff, I never went back and tried to like, let me try to get all that again. Or
yeah.
It just reminds me of like all that work I put in. Like I don't know.
That kind of stuff is so destructive, like to your will.
Well, no, I was gonna do like a whole recording on like why is he not having the book out yet.
Oh, is that your conspiracy theory?
The conspiracy theory, like, because my other one was that he didn't write any of these. A friend of his had the raw manuscripts but died young, and he stumbled upon them and no one ever knew, and he's run out of material and now he doesn't know what to do. I think that was a plot in
he's still
Cards,
in his
maybe.
interviews. That could
He's
be
just like,
true.
oh, there's more coming, and like so he spends a lot of his time like digging holes in his friend's property, seeing if there's like more manuscripts hidden somewhere.
In a coffee can somewhere is wins.
Meanwhile, he's like, oh yeah, I can do this wild cards thing. I'll be productive. Like, not that he isn't a good writer or editor. It's just that this story wasn't his. Dun 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 dun.
That's awful thoughts, seriously.
Yeah.
Or like sold like part of his soul to a gypsy woman for like the inspiration, and then she's like, sorry, your soul credits have run out.
And one other thing I want to think is, because like
he just doesn't have any left.
Every every world, right, there's like infinite alternate realities, because there's a world where the series is already done. Just saying.
Okay, so all we have to do is build a dimension crossing machine to get there, and we'll probably do it quicker than the book will be out.
That's kind of like one of my favorite things. I don't know if any of you watch Rick and Morty, where like they watch like TV from other dimensions, and it's like oh yeah, man, they got like Rambo 25 over there,
I stick by my theory that he is writing A Dream of Spring at the same time, and we'll release them like within a year of each other.
Oh yeah, that was my other hope, is like he's just like, it's gonna take 10 years, but he's like, it's all done. Like Tolkien is like, it's ready for you, it's all here.
Yeah, I feel like he's knocking him out.
Yeah, but Tolkien released Lord of the Rings like 30 years after he started writing it.
Okay, you know what, Matt? You stop bringing facts.
We're going to use alternative facts.
Like, there's so many people that say, like, oh, yeah, I started reading them when they first came out, and
oh my god,
they are not at all interested.
Although when I see like the 20-year-old being like, yeah, I've read them when they were coming out, I'm like, dude, you did not look up the dates.
No, but there are like older people that they say, and they're like, I am not interested at all, because I just can't stand it anymore. Like, they're so turned off by it. And I
guess there's other stuff to read, right? There's always books coming out, so.
Yeah, so So speaking of which, who's reading The Thief? Are we done?